Yes, on air with Aaron, HB Radio Las Vegas' #1 hip hop internet station. I am Aaron. Got my brother DJ E-Rock in the building.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
Hello.
So,
how we feeling?
Man, how you feeling?
Feeling
right
good?
Now? Feeling good.
I'm feeling great.
Blessed.
Took an Advil before the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I feel
It's a great thing to do to start your day, huh?
Advil and some Starbucks. Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't have a long night yesterday either.
Breakfast of Champions, huh?
Yeah, I actually haven't ate shit yet.
Wow.
I haven't. Thanks for providing lunch. I appreciate that.
You know what I mean? That's how we start your weekend.
This guy invites me to literally be on the show and goes, yeah, you're going to be here for 2 hours. And da-da-da-da. No, and there is no food here. Absolutely.
Come on, Heartbreaker. Can you get some Carbone sent over here for the...
Not even Carbone, man. Jamming the most Aaron and Lumpia. I wish. Pause.
We'll get some food after this. How about that, huh?
I have to actually go and do my own radio show after this.
Jeez. Hey. We'll go over there and we'll eat, man. How about that?
You want to eat?
Yeah, why not?
At my house?
Let's go. Bring some lumpias and some... I don't know, whatever. Anyways, we're hanging out, man. So let's talk about your time in Vegas now. So I think we're at you started doing guest spots all over the city. You started off with Shecky's Thursday night spot.
Yeah, so I did that one Thursday. Ended up doing Body English.
Is that through Shecky too?
No, that was like through somebody else. It was actually
people that you met while you were out here, though.
Yeah, people I met while I was out here. I used to frequent the Body English DJ booth before I had a residency out here.
Okay.
And I would go and visit Deluxe, go and visit Five, go and visit Vice at the time, and I would just literally be the designated, hey, let me get your drink ticket guy.
Okay, yeah,
Patron was really big at the time, and so eventually, you meet, just being in the room is so important in Vegas because you end up meeting people that could throw you an opportunity because they just genuinely want to help you.
Yeah,
and that's what happened to me. Like I got a tryout to Body English.
Yeah, and you got to tell me what happened because you said you got pulled.
I killed the tryout.
Okay.
And Five would even tell you, and that guy's the most critical person to me. Period. Okay. He's like my big brother. Yeah, How I big brother you?
Yeah, yes.
Like Five big brothers me.
Yes.
Every goddamn day. Every day. But yeah, Five will tell you that, I did an amazing job. It was 30 minutes in the middle of a set.
Okay.
Try doing that in this day and age in Vegas.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Someone goes, hey, we're going to audition somebody in the middle of your set, E-Rock. I'm like, no way.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So thank God for DJ Five. God bless him. 30 minutes, middle of a set, killed it, did my thing. They gave me a date, and it was to make up for... No, I don't think it was for Melody. I think it was for Homicide.
Okay.
Homicide did Fridays there. So I ended up playing, and I remember I started off okay. And then, I don't know. Have you ever played Bob Sinclair, World Hold On?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So there's a part of the original version that has this really, really low energy drop off.
Yeah.
And it goes too long.
Yeah.
And I remember I missed the cue where you're supposed to mix out.
Oh, shit.
That drop off plays for damn near fucking 2 minutes.
It's a pretty long time.
It kills the room. Back then, it would kill. It still does, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, depending on what room you're in. But I remember that played, and I remember Andy Hirsch, who I had dinner with not too long ago, and we talk about this story all the time.
Okay.
He comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder, and says, hey, man.
You're done.
It's not your night tonight.
Oh, man.
Verbatim. It's not your night tonight. I'm like, okay, shit, fuck. I felt embarrassed.
Oh, that would fuck you up, man.
Humiliated.
For sure.
And I was fucked up in the head. I remember I had one of those flip cams, to document everything back in the day. I've always been big on documenting and blogging.
Right. And you have footage of this moment?
I do. I have footage of this moment. It's in an old laptop where I'm walking out of Body English and I'm talking about how defeated I was.
Oh, man. And what part of your set was this in? Was this towards the end? Was it you just get started?
40 minutes, so I didn't even make it to 2 hours.
Wow.
They put the opener back on.
Oh, shit.
So yeah, that happened, man. But
that kills your self-esteem, man. So you
especially at a time where I'm really focused on trying to break it in Vegas.
Yeah.
Trying to break in. I'm focused and I'm trying to get where I need to go, and having a moment like that, I thought it was over. But I remember saying into the camera going, I'll be back.
Yep.
I'm going to get better from this.
Yep.
you know, I'm gonna learn from this shit,
Yeah.
you know. But I remember coming back to the Bay Area the next morning and just like really just fucked up in the head, and going to my significant other and just telling her, going like, yo, like, damn, I fucked up.
Damn.
Like,
Did you
like,
think
this shit might
your
be
Vegas
done.
career was over?
Yeah,
Before it
yeah.
really-
I thought it was over. Luckily, like, you know, just through the magic of being in the room, like, you know, I knew a lot of people that would look out for me, or that felt
Yeah.
like I was just a natural
Right.
fit.
Yeah.
You know, like J-Rock from the Palms
Wow.
at the time. He was a host at the time, and like, you know, we also had a great relationship. We still do. You know, he's like one of my really close friends, but he reached out to me and said, yo, why don't you try playing at the Palms? I'm like, oh shit, all right. So I ended up playing at the Palms for, you know, a few years after that
What
whole
club was it?
body.
Was this like Rain or
Rain, Playboy Club, Moon,
nice?
and these were like 6, 7, 8 hour shifts
Damn.
for damn near no money.
Yeah.
Like, I would fly out here for damn near no money.
Wow.
Do a whole entire night, pay for my own flight.
But you knew the
my
value in
own
that.
hotel room.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I wanted it so bad, I did not care.
Right.
I did not give a shit. And at the same time, like, yo, I was the cool Vegas dude with a residency
Yeah, yes.
at the Palms back home in the Bay Area.
Exactly.
You know, so it worked out. Like, the halo effect of being, like, you know, in the room here.
Yeah.
Even though if I wasn't getting paid a lot of money back then here, it paid off for me back home in the Bay Area. It got me into sports. It got me into better, like, you know, real estate on the radio.
Damn, that's dope as fuck.
It helped me out a whole ton. And then what happened after that? I remember, during that time, you know, Pauly D used to have
Yeah.
like shifts over at or shows.
Yeah.
I call them shifts because I'm old school. He would play at like Moon or Rain back in the day, and then I think like J-Rock was like really close with them at the time.
Oh shit.
But I remember there were times where they would go to Hayes. And they would hang out there. Hayes was like the poppin' like new spot back then.
Right.
And it's to be honest, still.
And this
one of
is
the
at
most
Aria?
legendary. At Aria, it's now called Jewel.
Right.
So I remember I would open. It was me and Exodus that were flip flopping. Sometimes I would open, sometimes
Okay.
I would close.
Okay.
And then if I would open, I would always make my way to Hayes to go hang out with J-Rock and whoever. That's how I met Moose and
Okay.
Cosmo.
Okay.
And I remember, you know, one day, just purely from being in the room, like, you know, Moose was like, yo, what are you doing next week? I'm like, playing in San Francisco somewhere. I don't know.
Right.
Like, I got a gig.
Yeah.
Said, no, we need somebody here. Like, you know, I'm on the phone.
Oh
I'm like,
shit.
what do you mean here? So, well, we need someone to fill in over at the bank on Sunday and Hayes on Saturday, but they're all night shifts. I'm like, fuck. All right.
You
That
didn't
means I
even,
gotta
you didn't
cancel
even
my
think
gigs.
twice. Yeah. You were just like,
And it was for more money I had ever gotten in Vegas
oh shit.
at the time.
And these are 6-7 hour shifts.
6-7 hour shifts, and I had to prove myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I had to play at both rooms, like, you know, every weekend. And every week I would always ask, like, yo, am I on next week, or do you need me anymore? Because I would
Right.
always think that, like, yo, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
Like, I don't deserve this shit.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I think about everything.
You're just a kid from the Bay Area.
Just came from the
like,
Bay Area,
yeah,
just
you know.
wanted to play music
Yeah.
and just be on the radio and do dope shit. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But sure enough, he would be like, nah, we need you next week. Nah, we need you next
Damn,
week.
that's so
Nah, we
sick.
need you next week. And I remember after, like, I think it was like 6 months of nah, we need you next week. I was like, all right, man.
What's up? We need a
We need to
contract.
figure this out.
Yeah.
And I got my first real contract for real money
Wow.
in Vegas.
Like
at
they gave you a room. That you have
one of the first like mega clubs that were built out here. Like, you know, at the time, like the mega club was huge. It was, what was it? Hayes, Marquee, and Dre's,
Right.
and I think Hakkasan was being built.
Yeah.
Also, Light was being built. Also, that was another big mega club. And then, yeah, man, like, you know, the rest was history.
And how long was it for the contract? Like for the year, and then
I think for the year.
okay.
And they just kept on renewing, and then eventually they're just like, do we need to renew this shit? Like, yo, you're our guy.
Oh
I was
shit!
like, shit, all right. So I was at Hayes for all 5 years. After Hayes, I went to One Oak.
Wow.
And then after One Oak, I was at Light for damn near fucking 7-8 years.
Damn. That is crazy. And this is before.
God bless Andy Massey, by the way.
See, this is before like DJ agencies was running.
I didn't have an agency for a long time. I did all this shit
independently.
independently
Nice.
for the most part. You know, I had people helping me, but I didn't really have. I was
It's
never
all
part of the scam.
relationships, right?
And that's the crazy thing. Everyone would be like, "Yo, so if I want to book you, do I talk to Sujit?" Like, I'm not even represented by Sujit.
Yeah.
I've never been represented by
Right,
Sujit.
right.
And there's no knock on Sujit. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that, like, yo, I did this
Independently.
independently,
That's what's up.
primarily
man.
by being in the room and just literally, like, you know, being a better dude than a better anything else.
Right.
Like, you know, I didn't have an agenda. Like, my only agenda was like, yo, I want to work.
Yeah.
That was it. I still, like, you know, just focused on the prize, man.
See, that's like people out there always ask like that don't live in Vegas, like, how do I get gigs in Vegas? And how do you? And then you said it right there, like you just had to be present. You know what I'm saying? And
Your best ability is your availability.
whoa, that is a bar.
That is the number one gem if you want to get into
Jeez.
Vegas. It's
Yeah.
a lot harder now.
Yeah, say it one more time.
Your best
The camera.
ability is your availability.
There it is. That's what's up. Now, speak on that. Speak on that more.
Nah, like, you know, you just got to be available, be present. You know what I mean? Like, you never know when the phone rings, and if you're not available to answer, you don't know what you're
That's
missing
true.
out on. Like,
Yeah.
I've had many times in my career, like, you know, because I've been a talent buyer, I've booked out nightclubs, I've been an agent, I've been a tour manager, or whichever, but. You know, all those things all circle around one common goal, and that's you got to get shit done.
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is, I've been in situations where I'm calling somebody, they don't call me back for like 10 hours. Guess what? That gig is already filled.
Yeah.
Guess what? That opportunity is already gone because I got to get shit done.
Yeah.
I got to
You're not
get shit
waiting
done,
on anyone
man.
else. Yeah.
You know, and it's no knock on anybody. Like, yo, like, you know, that's just the way that I was raised in this business.
100%.
Like, this business is, I don't want to say it's all I know, but at the time, especially like back in the day, like 10 years ago when I'm programming rooms in San Francisco, like, yo, like that was all I knew.
Right.
And if it's all I knew, it was all I wanted to be the best at.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
Dude,
I'm going to take this shit to another level. Fuck
Yeah.
that. Like, I'm not just going to be here. I'm going to be up here.
Right.
Like, I don't care. It don't need to make sense to anybody but me.
Exactly. You were
Because-
programming clubs in LA too, right? When Infusion.
I was a part owner of Infusion.
Oh man, I remember.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you know that we were part of the same radio station at one point. We worked at the same radio station, but we never crossed paths. I think it was like you were there for a short time, and I was on the
Where?
street team at Power.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really?
Yeah, and I think
When I first got there?
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Shit.
They would be like, yeah, E-Rock's here. I'm like, E-Rock? Like, I would always hear your name because obviously we have a lot of mutual friends. I'm like, oh, E-Rock's yeah, he's here at Power. And I think you were mixing at the time. We had like a staff meeting. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll meet him at the staff meeting. And like, you were on air. And then, yeah.
That was a great time.
Yeah.
That was a great time.
Do you remember the first time we met? Probably not.
I think it was here.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Where?
I don't know.
He does know. He does remember.
Was it at Light?
It was. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was at Light.
Yeah. E-Man was the guest that night.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
Wow. And I was
remember
like,
that.
yo, man.
Those are my drunken days.
Yeah, I said,
got
like,
away
yo,
with
we used to
murder
work
there.
at the station together, but like we just, missed each other. And you're like, yeah, man, anytime you want to come through. But you always been a solid
You never
dude,
came
man.
through, though.
I did come through.
Maybe
Hello,
like 3 or 4
pause.
times.
I think I came through.
Hey, 3 or 4 times.
Nah.
I always bitch at you for not coming through.
Yeah, you always do.
And I won't say
But
why.
you don't always invite
This
me,
is
though.
your show. No, this is your show.
No.
So I'm not going to dig into you, pause, the way that I dig into you
What?
on the phone.
Yeah,
so.
hello. No, but I when you invite me, I come through. You know what I mean?
Sometimes.
Yeah, no, most of the time.
Sometimes.
Stop. Anyways, so
I do remember you showing up to my birthday
yeah,
really late, though.
I think because I came from a gig.
No, you were
At
like
Hakkasan?
fighting with like your ex at the time.
Oh,
Like,
stop.
I swear to God.
Here we go. Let's go to commercial
swear
break.
to God.
Fuck you, no way. Nah, I think
Yeah,
I
man.
did because I was on the radio at the time, and I think I was on the night. I was doing the night show, covering the night show.
Oh,
and-
wait, no.
yeah.
You actually missed it because I remember running into you that night at Resorts World. It was when Resorts World first opened.
Where?
Man, I just remember fucking one of the homies like put me aside. Hey, babe, it's gonna go into some shit right now. I'm like, what?
Nah, you're crazy.
Yeah, man, what if I was like, where were
Yo,
y'all?
E-Rock's birthdays are fucking legendary. I swear,
They're
man.
They're
I'm-
done now.
No more birthdays?
No, man, because they kill me every time.
Yeah, dude. I remember
Every time. My body is not the same going in for months.
And I remember one year at Hakkasan. This is probably like right before the pandemic. It's like a motherfucking Bay Area in there. It's people that I haven't seen in years came out. I'm like, oh shit, y'all.
No, it was very LEA in there.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of LA people in there too. Yeah.
Very
for sure.
LEA.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was a very LEA guy.
Yeah, dude, you legend. And there's one thing that you can do. You throw the craziest parties.
Done, man.
I don't know how you like maneuver all these things that you do. You're programming DJs in the Bay. You're programming DJs. You know, you're doing radio. You like, how do you find balance to do all you do?
It's simple. I had no balance.
You just do it.
I just did it.
Jesus.
I just did it, you know. But I think now more than ever, you know, I do a podcast. Can I talk about?
Of course, come on.
So my podcast, The Full Convo. I used to do it with Culture Kings. I used to do it in their studio. Shout out Monica. Shout out my man Sam. Sam's the guy, man.
Oh yeah,
I love that guy. But I remember I had an interview with Mark Chinook, who is the in-game host for the Golden Knights.
Yep.
Top rank. It's one of the biggest, like, you know, philanthropists out here.
Right.
Like, you know, the guy literally raises money every other week for a different nonprofit in the city, and he's been doing that for 10 years straight. But not only has he been inspirational to me to watch, having that conversation really changed a lot in me. And I asked him, I was like, well, what's next for Mark Chinook? And he was like, well, you know, the number one thing that he wanted to start focusing on was spending time appropriately. And, you know, cutting out the things that didn't serve him anymore. You know, things that weren't enhancing, bringing
wasn't filling your
benefit, cup. Filling your cup. Like, you know, and it fucked my head up. Because, like, you know, as you said, like, yo, I don't know how you do all these things. I don't know how you find balance. Like, yo, the answer to that is like, yo, I had no balance. All I did was I had one speed, go.
Yeah.
Go. That's it. Didn't matter. If it didn't work out, I don't care. I'm going to move on to something else. I was just, you know, I always felt like I had something to prove and something to build off of. But, you know, when he said that to me about spending time appropriately with the right people, doing the right things, having the right conversations, even all the way down to, like, you know, eating the right foods and stuff like that. Like, that made me think, like, yo, you know what, man? If I do that, I could find myself some level of peace.
Wow.
And I did that. I started cutting things out, you know, one by one. Like, you know, I got out of a lot of group chats, you know, that I was in that were just like
toxic.
You know what I mean? I love those guys. I love all my, you know, homies and stuff like that. I stopped, you know, going to certain things that just didn't serve me at all. Like, who cares if I'm not being seen, you know, backstage here and this and that? There'll be another opportunity where it's going to feel right and sit well within myself.
They say, too, your value goes up when you don't show up to everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I used to do everything, show up to everything, you know, and that was just what my
I feel like that's important for somebody that's getting started in the industry, but somebody at where the level you're at, like, you don't need to go to everything.
20 plus years now. You know what I mean?
You can pick and choose now. And
yeah, you know, I mean, I still, like, you know, show up to things that even, you know, that you would be surprised, you know, that I would show up to. Like, I would still,
like, Rhino.
No, I don't. I don't go to the Rhino.
I don't think I've never seen you at the Rhino, actually.
Well, you know, I've probably been like maybe like once or twice in the last like 2 years that I've lived here, you know.
But you definitely don't go for dances. I mean, we all know that we go there for the Locomoco, so.
I don't even go there for that anymore.
Jeez.
I just don't. Like, I'd rather just go home.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy because I think the trend of me staying home and not showing up to everything started in LA. You know, and I remember Scratchy used to give me a lot of shit like, hey, you don't even go out, you don't even do shit.
Yeah.
A lot of it is because, like, yo, like, I feel like I've built my home over the years to where I don't ever want to leave. That's why it's home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've like, I could stay home like for weeks, and not see a soul on the strip, and be okay with it mentally and emotionally.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm good with
you can
that.
work from home and all that. Yeah.
I work from home. I
yeah.
can have a great meal at home. I
Yeah.
can play Call of Duty at home.
Yeah.
Got my dogs, my family.
Yeah.
I got, you know, like, yo, if I want to have friends over, I got a dope backyard.
Yeah.
Like,
but how important is it to step out though once in a while?
it's very important, you know. But I think for me, it's stepping out appropriately now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, I my phone gets blown up every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you coming out? Yo, you coming out? You coming out? It's like, man, I want to.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
you know, I just know that, like, you know, I need to figure out if it feels right.
Right.
Like, you know, does it fit in, you know, where I'm currently at? Like, you know, does home need me a lot more? Does my mom need me a lot more? Does, you know, my career, my radio show, which I do at home,
Yeah.
need me more?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if those things are kind of weighing, like more in that side of the scale, then I'm going to stay home.
For sure.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure. And this is important for your mental health too, because like a lot of the things that we do, man, like you said, we're always go. We got to check on ourselves too. You know what I mean? Like what to clear your mind and you know.
I'll tell you this, man. One big scare that I had last year was, you know, I used to get IVs like twice a month.
Okay.
There's a place on St. Rose where you can get, like, you know, a membership where they just put 2 IVs.
They'll come
like,
up
you
to
know,
your place or whatever.
No, it's
Oh, you go
in
there.
a clinic.
Okay.
I went to this clinic one time, and they've been telling me, like, yo, you might want to look at your blood pressure. Like, you might want to just kind of pay attention to this shit. I'm like, all right, you know, I'm good. Then I just stopped drinking coffee, stop eating red meat. Then I'll go a little back to normal. And I remember one time I sat down in the chair, and they looked at me like, we can't give you an IV. I'm like,
shit.
Why? They're like, your blood pressure's too high. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, I'm fine. I feel fine.
Yeah.
We can't do it. It's a liability. We don't want to put a needle in you and put all this fluid in you, and you end up getting a stroke or something. That shit fucked my head up.
Oh shit.
And then that was like, all right, maybe I'm outside a little too fucking much.
Okay.
You know, maybe I'm not getting, like, you know, the right nutrients in my body.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm
Rest
going
and
to
all that.
trade, like, you know, like the 10 shots in 1942 for maybe 10 salads. You know, maybe
okay.
I need to do things that are going to be a little bit more self-serving to where I can live long.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, like, yo, this shit is not for the weak, man.
Right. 100%.
It is important to step out, but I believe that it's important to step out appropriately.
Yeah. 100%. That's
You know,
real shit right there.
yo, man, like, you know, this business, like, if you really want it, you're gonna have to make sacrifices. But I think more than ever, like, and we're seeing it, like, you know, the people that have made like the ultimate sacrifice, like with health and all that other stuff, like, we're seeing that happen like all around us, like, you know, in our generation. And I'm like, you know what, I want to stop that. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, you know, doing that to myself. I want to take better care of myself, and I want to even show people that, like, you know what, let's normalize, like, you know, not having to drink like a ton,
Right.
every time you DJ.
Yeah. You don't have to black out every time. You don't have to, you know.
have,
Sometimes you don't
like,
even
one or
have to
two.
drink, really.
Yo, it's
Sometimes.
very rare that I drink,
Yeah.
like, you know, more than one. Like when I'm at Tao.
A lot of times when I'm like, yo, are we drinking tonight? You always say no to me. So, I always wonder if you know, I see you drunk on Instagram. I was like, damn, I thought he stopped
I'm
drinking.
not drunk on Instagram.
Just kidding.
If there's one thing I know that I'm not drunk on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I have a rule for that. That's
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Because I have younger nephews and nieces
Oh, yeah.
that know what their uncle does, that hear their uncle on the radio, that see their uncle on
Got to
TV.
be that role model for them, yeah.
It's not just that. It's just like, you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like that plays a big thing in my head. Like,
sure.
like I remember my nephew coming here, seeing my billboard for the first time.
How old's your nephew?
At the time, I think he was like maybe like 14, 15.
Okay.
He's like 21 now, but I remember him seeing my One Oak billboard back in the day, and he was mind blown from it. And
Oh, shit. Like,
these are the moments that play in my head that I always include into my decision making. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't get drunk on Instagram like that no more. Like pouring a bottle of 42 and, like, you know, from the spout. Like, I'm like,
or like Instagramming,
I used to do that.
cheersing, and like.
Oh, cheers.
Uh-huh.
It's like one or two, you know, but I won't do it. And if I do get drunk, if I am out, I don't broadcast it like I.
Yeah. I find myself posting less now because it's almost like a lot of people snitch on themselves. Show where they're at, where they're eating, where they're like, bro, what? I post the next
late.
day. Yeah, me too.
I post late all the time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I just feel like there are weirdos out there.
Oh, for sure.
In general, but things are good.
Let's switch gears real quick because we had Franny here last week. We were talking about the pandemic and how you are one of the guys that really spearheaded Twitch, man. Like, you were the ones that we've had conversations where like, bro, you need to go on Twitch. Like, you were one of those ones that, or if not the one that was like, this is the one, this is the thing you need to do. Like, you explained to us how to earn money and like, how did
that start?
Yeah, how did that start?
Well, it started like years ago, even before the pandemic was even the pandemic. I don't know if that makes any sense. But
yeah.
I had met Anil.
Yeah, shout out to Anil too, by the way. He lives out here now, right?
Shout out to Anil.
Yeah. We'll bleep that out. Okay.
Yeah, shout out to Anil. But Anil and I have been friends for a little bit. And I met him at a nightclub in San Francisco. I think it was the nightclub that I used to program recently, which was Harlot.
Okay.
Or Temple. I don't know. One of those. He came up to me, gave me his business card. And then he said, yo, if you're ever thinking about working with Twitch, let me know.
Oh, shit.
I know you are. I know you've done this and that. And I'm like, yo, that's great. And at the time, we don't know, like...
Yeah, you're like, this is a gaming platform? All right.
Yeah, we don't know what's coming. We don't see, like, this pandemic, like, coming in and changing our lives forever. We don't know none of this.
Right.
So, fast forward, pandemic happens, and I get on the phone with Chachi. And you know Chachi from New York? Mm-mm. So he's a really well-known DJ, OG out there in New York, Chachi. I get on the phone with him, and then we're just talking about like, yo, like we're like a couple weeks in. Like, where do you think this is going? I don't know. Like, do you think
were you DJing on IG Live at the time?
We were all DJing on IG Live. It was the first thing we all did.
Okay.
He said, do you think people are gonna stay on IG Live? Do you think it's gonna move to YouTube? Like have you ever thought about Twitch? And right then and there, I had a light bulb. That just literally turned on in my head. Mm-hmm. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call you right back. And I remember pulling up my phone, right? And then
typing up Anil's name.
Typing up Twitch.
Oh, Twitch.
You
forgot his name.
I forgot his name.
Yeah.
But I remember the time I met him. And then I remember pulling it up, and then Anil had put his name in my phone with Twitch next to it. I was like, holy shit, I got this guy's number. And he's the main guy there.
Yeah.
So I end up texting him, hey, Anil, I don't know if you remember me, yada, 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 this and that. He said, of course I remember you, this and that. Call me tomorrow.
Yeah, the Twitch headquarters was in
San Francisco.
Okay.
San Francisco, man. I'm a San Francisco guy.
Right.
So then I call him, and then we're talking about like the pandemic, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I think I want to start streaming on Twitch. Like, is there some way that you can help me? My original idea was that I was going to bring The Basement, which is my radio show.
Okay.
I was going to do an online version.
Okay.
Where I would DJ, play music, and do interviews.
Okay.
On Twitch. That was all I thought
via Zoom, like they would Zoom.
Yeah,
whatever.
Zoom.
Okay.
Because I was watching the platform and all that shit. All of us were. We saw what people were doing.
Right.
And then what happened was he was like, all right, well, let's get you set up because you're going to need equipment. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean I need equipment?
Holy shit, he sent you equipment?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, damn.
I had to get equipment. So,
he was telling you what to get.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
He said, you're going to need this, you're going to need that. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to need what is
like
it?
An interface.
And all this other stuff. I'm like, all right, I thought you could just open up your laptop and call it a day.
Yeah,
like, nah,
yeah. Oh, shit.
Can't.
And he told you about the green screen shit, probably?
I learned green screen on my own down the line. But, man, so I ended up getting all this shit, called a couple homies that worked at, like, NVIDIA.
Okay.
Who are still, like, my laptop sponsors.
Nice.
They sent me a laptop.
Nice.
I ended up buying a camera, and we're not making money at the time. So, like, yo, this shit is, like, expensive.
Oh,
bro.
Yeah.
I bought a new interface, all that. And then I get set up, and then I do a couple streams, and I'm promoting them online. I stopped doing IG Live, and I'm promoting them online. And I remember Deluxe and them like pulling up to like one of my streams. They were in the chat, and then fucking I remember we had this conversation. It's like, yo, man, like, what is this that you're using? Like, you just look like you're having so much fun, and there are no interruptions. Because remember, that was the big thing.
The copyright interruptions.
There were no interruptions at the time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, it's called Twitch. And then another light bulb pops up. I was like, yo, what if I present Anil, a collective of DJs that can port over all of this business and all of these DJs that are looking for a home to stream? Because there's so many DJs that were frustrated with IG
For
Live.
sure.
We all were.
Yep.
Like, fuck this platform. This shit stops every fucking 3 minutes. Play the wrong song, we're screwed. What if I brought all those guys over by the means of just pure influence?
Right.
Let's get Eric Deluxe. Let's get DJ 5. Let's get the biggest DJs on the strip. Let's get DJ Franzen. Let's get, DJ Scene. Let's get, anybody who can push the needle and see what happens.
Right.
So we'll all just dump it in one bucket because you can support each other.
Oh yeah.
Like, we were rating on IG Live by going, all right, go to E-Rock's page now after I sign off.
Yep.
Now we could just literally just send you a crew.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, yep.
So I pitched that idea to Neil, and he was so supportive. He was like, "Yo, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Let's fucking do it."
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, man, like, we had this other conversation and we had this conference call, and it was like maybe like 10 DJs. I know I'm drawing a blank on who else I brought on. I think Fashion was one of them too. Yeah, Fashion was one.
Okay. And then there was always like those Headliner Music Club, like raid trains and stuff like that. Like, there was fundraising events and.
Dude, we did so much great like through that platform, and it was because of Anil. And like, Anil was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get you guys set up. Like, you guys, we're gonna pilot this, which is like a demo.
Well, yeah,
we're gonna put you guys on the partner program, this and that.
Nice.
Get you guys all monetized, whatever you need.
Yeah,
we'll support you, put you on the front page, and we're gonna grow this."
That's so sick.
So we did that, and then it became like this massive community that that got people through.
Changed our lives, saved our lives, dude.
And that's the crazy thing that I'll always cherish. Like, I still have people that will come up to me, like, and I have never met them before, but I know their screen name on Twitch.
Right.
People will come to my gigs for shows or whichever in Vegas or wherever, I'm at, Texas, New York, and be like, "Yo, man, I know you don't know me, but I'm so-and-so in the chat. And man, you have no idea, like, this got me through like a lot."
Yeah.
And I've had people tell me like, "Yo, like, Twitch saved lives."
Yeah.
Like, there were people like, and it doesn't matter what you believe in, but just know that there were people that believed in the pandemic.
Right.
And there were people that didn't believe in it. But for the people that believed in it, like, they were really like, I was very conservative. They were very conservative also. Had no human contact for like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Like, but their only form of human contact was through Twitch.
Yeah.
Human connection was through chat rooms and building communities and Discord chats and Zoom calls. Like I've had people tell me like, "Yo, like, that really had saved their lives mentally,
right,
and whatnot." Like, it's one thing that I'm probably one of the most proudest things I am of. Like, some people go, "Oh, wait, you never got a cut of anybody's," like, I didn't need that. Like, just the reward of being able to introduce this platform in a way to where it saved their lives and they were able to save other lives.
Yeah, man.
And save, mental health.
Yep.
Like, by leaps and bounds, like, is enough reward for me.
Yeah. Because, dude, I remember being depressed as hell, and you were like, "Come on, man, you were really pushing me, like, you got to try this time. You got to build your community. You got to And I really took those words, and you were like, "All right, man. Like, yo, this Club Kitchen, like, you really got to build it." Like, I'm like, "All right, man." Like, we were on calls like weekly, and you were telling me like, "I like what you did here. Or, this was funny, and do more of this." And I was like, "All right," because I
remember the night we partnered you.
Yeah, holy shit, man! I can't.
You remember the night we partnered you?
I will never fucking forget, dude. I will never.
Do you
forget.
Remember how much support we had in that room?
Oh,
it was
my God, bro.
It was almost. It felt like
all the DJs that I looked up to were Vice was there, Franzen was there, like,
and all of us at least like put like 100 subs to your name. Like each,
bro. Yeah,
each just to celebrate you.
Did you talk to them on the back end? Or was like, "Well, we're gonna raid Aaron, we're gonna," or did it just like?
Yeah,
you did.
I remember. It was actually all Anil. To be honest, Anil called. I think Anil called me. He said, "Hey, bro, do you know if Aaron's spinning tonight? I was like, yeah, I think he's on like later on. He said, all right, we're gonna partner him midstream. I was like, no shit.
Oh my god, bro! That's
And he
it.
was
It gives me
like-
chills when you talk about it right
And
now.
he was like, yeah, man, dude, I love what he does. I love that guy. He's such a
Damn.
good person. I was like, hell yeah, dude. And so I remember, I think we all like started texting each other. And
pull
then
up to
when you're,
Aaron's stream.
pull up to Aaron's stream, pull up to Aaron's
Oh
stream.
my god, bro! That
know?
shit was so wild. I'm like, damn, Fran's in here. Oh shit, E-Rock's in here.
Hey,
Eric
man.
Deluxe is in here.
Hey,
So
I don't mean
just-
to put you out there, but you cried.
I did. I ain't gonna
cried.
lie. I ain't gonna lie. I got
cried
teary
on
eyed,
that
man.
stream. And we loved you for it.
because it's like you like to be a partner on Twitch is like at me. I'm like it giving me goosebumps like talking about it. Like to be partnered. I mean, recognized as a partner on there for like, because obviously we're not doing it to be partnered. We're just doing it because we fucking had fun doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
We had nothing else to do.
exactly. It was just fun as fuck. And I'm like, dude, all my big bros are in here. Like, this is crazy. And, you know, me, I was always like the jokester doing all this fucking, you know, Filipino shit. You know what I mean? Like accent stuff. And then all of a sudden, you were just like, you and Anil were like, check your notifications out of nowhere. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I just looked at my email. It's like, welcome to the partner program. And I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah.
And it's crazy after that, people would hit me up that were striving to be partners, like how do you get partner? Because obviously I didn't hit the all the criteria. You had to have a certain amount of people, a certain amount of time, stream a certain amount of days, which
You did.
which for the
I
most
think
part
it was like,
yeah.
at the time it was like 70 people for X amount of hours.
Yeah, I think there's like a couple that it was tough for me to get, like having enough a certain amount of numbers for a certain amount of time. But it was like, it's like if you just take your mind out of the numbers game and just put great content and a great stream out there, it's gonna transcend. You know
No,
what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
And that's something that people have to, you know, always remember when you're content creating, period.
Yeah.
I sometimes struggle, you know, with that. Like I have like all these like content ideas that I want to do, but I always
Right.
have my head in the numbers shit. Like,
like,
what
I
if
only
it's not
got-
received?
I only got this many views or this many likes or this one. Like, man,
At the time, like, you know, for you, and I think, you know, one of the big things why, like, you know, they decided to partner you was like, yo, they saw the level of production and preparation and just
Yeah.
like how you were cultivating your community. Like, you had loyalists.
yeah.
Loyalists.
Man.
It wasn't even a community. It was loyalists, like people that were riding for you, people that would stream your songs online.
man.
Put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That
Shit is
great.
classic, bro. And then what was the other one
Yeah.
after that?
Say less.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
you know, those are all classics. And so like, yo, like, and even the Discord record itself was just so genius, and it just showed. I think that was what showed Anil, like, yo, this guy really fucks with what he does,
Man.
and this guy really, 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 truly does care about his community, and that you know, if you work at Twitch, like that's the goal.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Is to create community and to create these moments that people can engage with each other in and celebrate, you know.
Yeah,
And so that's that. I remember the conversation, like he was like, yo, I fuck with Aaron, dog. This guy really
Damn.
fucks with his people, and at a time where we had no idea where the world was going.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was something so special because everybody was on ground zero. Nobody was bigger. Nobody had
Yeah,
more gigs
that's what
than
I'm saying.
anybody or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
You had viewer counts.
There was people that were like probably never got like gigs like that were doing better than DJs that were like established DJs, like, you know, big gigs and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
man,
Congratulations.
thank you, bro. Hey, you
I'd like to say that Twitch had a big part in your success coming out
for
of like,
sure.
pandemic. Like, you know, you created an amazing community out here, man. So,
Bro,
you had a
that-
lot of locals too. You had a
Yeah,
lot of locals
yeah.
that fucked with you, tough.
dude. Yeah, that. You know, we had a little. You know, we had some people in there, and then we had like we would have the meetup, fucking parties and stuff at Capuso.
Yeah, you would scare the shit out of me with those. Because I was so conservative with the with the pandemic at the time, I'm like, yeah, this guy's throwing a fucking actual fucking party with more than 2 people. That's not 6 feet apart.
Hold on. No, we were within guidelines.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Come on. You can talk about it now. You were social distancing.
We were within guidelines. You know what I mean? Because we
say those words, social distancing.
That shit is crazy,
dude. It just seems like a fucking foreign concept now.
Yeah,
you know?
Social distancing. That's crazy. Wearing a mask, all that shit. But
I still carry a mask.
Yeah.
I mean, not with me everywhere. On the plane, I do. And a lot of it is because I feel like what the pandemic has taught me is some motherfuckers are just gross and dirty.
Bro. Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
And don't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
That's the only thing why I will still just have that one mask.
Yeah. Just in case.
Just in case. Like, I've sat next to somebody, and just seen, like, literally just, like, this motherfucker look like he's got the flu, he's gross, he's coughing like crazy, this and that, like, just in general, pandemic or not, I ain't trying to breathe in whatever your exhaust is, bro.
Right. No, 100%.